Finding Memo. Flo is a silver carp. She was imported to North America in the 1970s from China. Her job was to eat algae in aquaculture and municipal wastewater treatment facilities. She was moved to a facility in Arkansas. A group of her and her fellow carp decided to escape from the facility one day. It was spawning season at the time. They were swimming upstream in 19 degrees Celsius water. Once they escaped, Flo released her eggs into the water, and a male carp that was following her released his sperm, and that is the day that Memo's egg was formed.
Hi, I'm Memo. I left my mom when she went upstream, and I want to find her. Is there any way that you can help me?
Of course I will, Memo. Meanwhile,
I lost my son Memo during spawning season. I had laid eggs down on the river and then swam upstream to catch some plankton because I was in desperate need of food. All of the silver carp are predators to plankton. This makes competition harder for other plankton-eating organisms. I really miss my son Memo and I want him back. I know that he'll be okay though, because silver carp have many adaptations that make it easier to live in any habitat they want. The ability to grow quickly makes it easier to mature quickly as well. They have sponge-like flakes that make it simpler to feed on plankton, and the ability to adapt to low oxygenated environments.
during that time,
Dory, since I'm still growing, I need to go to my normal egg, which is about 70 centimeters long. I still weigh a light amount. I think it's time for us to go feed.
okay, what do you eat?
Like a filter feeder. That possesses a remarkably specialized apparatus capable of filtering particles as small as 4 micrometers. But I mainly just eat plankton.
Alright, Memo, let's go find you some plankton.
Let's look upstream a little more, and maybe we will find some.
2 minutes later.
Dorothy, since we just met, how about I tell you a little about myself?
Okay, Memo, tell me something interesting.
Well, me and my kind, we live in rivers and streams, feeding in schools until spawning time. I have to be 3 years old to spawn, and then I spawn till I'm 10. Once that happens, we move into a bigger water to feed again.
How did your mother breed you?
Well, in order for her to produce, she must be in flowing water. They swim upstream in groups of 15 to 20.
That's interesting to know. Do the fish mate?
Those fish then release eggs into the water, and a little later, the male fish come upstream and release their sperm on the egg.
I don't think I know of any other fish off the top of my scales that don't mate.
Yeah, it is different, but it does make us unique.
Why do you eat plankton out of everything else?
Well, we are predators to many types of plankton. This creates a competition for other organisms to eat plankton.
How are carps able to adapt to so many different environments?
We grow very quickly, up to 3 to 5 pounds in the first year. Ability to mature quickly into sexual maturity, and lay 1 to 5 million eggs per year. Gill rakers use a sponge-like filter that make it easier to feed on plankton. We have the ability to adapt to a low oxygenated environment.
As they continue to swim upstream, they talk more about the background of Memo to have the time pass by quicker.
Do silver carp impact the food web?
Well, silver carp eat huge amounts of plankton and detritus. Fish compete with native organisms like mussels, larvae fishes, and some adult fish, such as paddlefish, which results in a fewer and smaller sports fish.
You know a lot about your native fish. I am impressed.
Well, I guess you could say I care a lot about my family background.
Do you have an economic impact?
Recreational and commercial fisheries depend on fish populations. That could be affected by the carp. There are concerns for hunters and fishers. Although the carp may provide some use, like the development of new commercial and recreational fisheries.
I'm guessing that they have a social impact as well.
When carp get fattened, they leap 10 feet in the air, which can harm, hurt, or kill fishers and geese. carp deal with that dangerous problem?
Once they reached the ocean borderline, Memo and Dorby looked out and saw a huge school of silver carp. Memo yelled and yelled for his mom when suddenly a fish came out from the side of the school. It was his mom, Flo. They immediately swam to meet each other.
Memo, I'm so glad you're okay! Mommy, I can't believe I found you! This is the best day of my life!
Memo then turned to Dorby.
Thank you for all your help. If you're in any trouble sometimes, just hit me up, brother!
Later, on the underwater channel, 2 reporters were discussing the silver carp problem.
Please tell me that they have a method for controlling the species population so that it doesn't turn into a hazard.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has built a pair of electrical barriers in the Chicago Sanitary and Ship Canal. DNR treated areas near Chicago with rotenone,
What is rotenone?
an organic compound used to kill silver carp.
That's horrible. They are trying to kill off the silver carp?
That's not the way I think of it. I think that the number of silver carp has gotten way out of hand, and they need to be able to control it.
Well, are you worried at all?
Yes, but I am more worried that silver carp will start to run low on plankton, and many of them will starve.
Well, I guess you make a good point.